Hey everyone, hope you're well. I thought I'd do a rare Sunday vlog today just because, do you know what? I've got so much stuff going on in the next sort of 100 days or so that it bears listing down because I obviously have a video coming out today with Kev, the best thing from Swansea video. We're doing a return of our old sort of podcast slash, we tried to do a few vlogs of it, best thing from series. We're traveling around the country trying to find the best thing from every city in the UK. We went to Swansea the other week. It was great. We had a great time and I've spent the time since Chris and Kev just editing the video and adding in all the different graphics and all this sort of stuff while I go, yeah, that looks good. And just generally give feedback and don't really help in any way. But it's coming out today, and I'm super excited about it. And so 5 o'clock today on Lelujo 2, to be more specific. You'll all know who Kev is by this point. You'll all know about Lelujo 2. You'll have seen me retweeting it at RB6K or Kev retweeting it at Lelujo. But the point is, it's coming out, and it marks the first moment of like my year just kind of going a bit nuts for a bit. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm super, super excited because not only are we doing Best Thing from Swansea today, we're also going out in 2 weeks' time to do Best Thing from Barcelona. Now, if you've been listening on my channel for a while, you'll know that I've had a lot of issues with leaving the house, social anxiety, all this sort of stuff. And I'm quite excited about what a big deal this is for me because going to Swansea, I've been there before. It was with Kev. I was only filming a football match and we were just going to see what happened while we mooched around beforehand. And it turned out to be a really fun day, except he ended up in hospital on the way home. And I remember talking to my boss about it and going, you know, I'm a little bit nervous about that because it was my first foray out again to do something a bit adventurous in a long time. And that happened. And we agreed that that's not going to happen every time. And now we're up in the ante because on, I think it's the 3rd, 4th of March, that weekend, around that time, we're going to Barcelona. We're flying out on the Saturday. We're going to film around Barcelona, trying to find the best things from Barcelona. Then we're going to go and see Barcelona v Valencia, film that for his match day vlogs, and then fly home. Now, that's probably the boldest thing I've done in a long time in terms of going out and about. I went to like Cornwall with the family and burnt out massively after it, but I'm excited to. I don't think I'm going to burn out. I feel like it's going to be fun. I know that Kev will listen if I'm like, look, I'm knackered or I'm dying on my backside, or if he's upset and unwell, then it'll be like before. I'll just sort him out, take him to hospital or whatever. But yeah, I feel like it's in a good place. It's exciting. It's a big second episode after Swansea. If Swansea does really well, escalating that to Barcelona is going to be massive. When we do episode 3 in like Milton Keynes or something, it's going to be like a bit of a fall to earth. But you know what we're like. We'll stumble across something. We're looking for quirky things to do in Barcelona. To give examples, when we were back in the younger days, we went to Leeds and saw a Spice Girls museum that had like loads of Spice Girls memorabilia that cobbled together. We went to a place where you could fire crossbows. We went to a place where you could try on armor, all sorts of stuff like that. Random quirky little places that no one would really recommend on a tourist board, but that are well worth their weight in gold of going there. So I'm hoping that lots of you will have tips for Barcelona. So far, I've had a lot of cocktail bars, a lot of marinas and restaurants, and that is good because we need somewhere to eat. And I always want to try like one local drink, so figuring out which one's good will be good. But we do need to find, like, I don't know, Barcelona's smallest house or their weirdest, most wonderful back alley weird thing that I can't even comprehend putting words together. But when you tell me it, I'll be like, are those words that should go in that order? Okay. That's what we're looking for. We'll probably stumble across it. When you watch tonight's Swansea video, you'll see stuff we stumble across and we're like, what on earth? And it's just fun. That's part and parcel of the exploration. That's what makes it good. So aside from them things, which we've talked about quite a bit, been quite vocal about them. I've also been working with my friend Bex, Schnum on Twitter, Schnum everywhere. That's her persona name on all of her artwork. She and I have been working on a comic that I'm super excited about. We've finished writing it all out now. We've basically written all of the pages in text form with descriptors and that sort of stuff, script. She's designed the characters. We've designed the back history of the world, what sort of happens in parts 2 and 3 of this 3-part story we're working on. We've named it, which I'm not going to reveal yet because I haven't asked her whether she's happy for me to do so. I'm sure she would have been, but I feel like we should probably talk about that before I go talking about finer details. But it's like a fantasy graphic novel story. Bex is known heavily online for being good at really good at drawing sort of cat girls and animal anthropomorphic characters, as well as her general Schnum style. And so you can imagine in advance the comic's going to be very much her strengths and the things that she's known for. And I basically said to her, I was like, I know you're really good at this, so we should do it like this. And I'm super excited. I've seen the thumbnail she's been drawing of that. She's drawn like the first, I don't know how many pages actually, I didn't count, but let's say it's the first 6 or 7, 8 pages that I've seen. And they're just rough sketches of this is what roughly it's going to look like. And then I'm going to go over it with, inking and colouring, and not colouring, I don't know how it all works. I'm making up words, but, scribbling it all out how it's supposed to go. I don't want to say the wrong words and paint the wrong picture. But yeah, it's looking awesome. I'm very excited. Seeing the words we've written and we've ummed and ahed over and tweaked and pulled and pushed and whatever around there, put on a page in a picture with the dialogue there and the extra bits of emotion and the cheekiness and the characters kind of coming to life, and they're exactly how we wrote them and exactly what we discussed, which I knew they would be because she's an excellent artist, but it's just nice going, yeah, that translates exactly how we wanted it to. That person's like that person's like that. It's so cool. Now, our aim for that is that we talked, I don't think we'd planned this originally. I think I was having a separate conversation where I was like, I've always dreamed of doing a comic or a book at Comic-Con. I remember going to one years and years ago and saying on one of the podcasts or vlogs or something that there was a guy there selling a book and he had like characters, people dressed up as his characters, and he had like big stacks of his books, and that's what his stall was, just selling a couple of his books from his series. And I sort of said it's always been a dream of mine to be doing something like that, just at least once in life, but obviously I'd want it to go well and make it a thing. And she happened to just be in the conference. She was there. She was like, well, we'll do it at Comic-Con in May. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, well, that's like a few months away now. Let's just get it drawn and printed and delivered for Comic-Con. So we looked at the plans to see whether that was feasible. And I think I saw an update from Comic-Con during the week that said there was 100 days until Comic-Con. So she's just going to have to draw like the wind, which she feels like she can. She's as I say, she's been drawing, she's been working on it. It's been really cool. I'm nervous that we've not accidentally, but I've sort of then, I don't want to add pressure. I said to her, the world will not end if we do not get this done in time. It's going to be on her stall at Comic-Con, so it's not going to be like a stall that I've gone and got. She'll be selling her own things, and then our book will be there. And that'll be a cool thing to be able to say, I wrote this and it was there. But yeah, the world's not going to stop if we don't. She's got plenty of stuff to sell and all of this. But I think we're going to do it. I'm conscious that every time I talk about it, I'm like turning the screw a little bit on her, or myself even, because there's plenty of stuff left to do. My job's not done. It's heavily reliant on her drawing at this point. But she's good at it, and I'm very proud of what she's done so far, and I'm very excited to see it. There's a small chance. So alongside that, the extra thing that's extra making this busy is we were debating what to do with it in terms of, do we just print them out and sell them at Comic-Con and then that's it? Or do we take them to, she's got various books that are out with publishers at the moment because, she's been working on them for a long time, and she's like, that's her job basically, drawing things, writing books, creating stuff, selling it online. And events and stuff. And so she's got hers pitched out, and she said, do we want to add this to the pitch? Do we want to kickstart this? Do we want to kind of figure out what we want to do with it? So she's asking her agent for like guidance on that. But equally, we're sort of talking about, well, maybe we should kickstart it. Maybe it'd be quite good to do a Kickstarter. It's another thing I've always dreamt of doing. It's always something that I've talked about in the past for years. Like I'm talking probably like a decade at least that I've been going on about, crowdfunding and a project. So we're sort of thinking that would help the plan of, we need to pay to get these printed and all of this sort of stuff, but we don't know what the demand's going to be like. So I think if we do it that way, it's going to be exciting. I've never done that before. So I'm excited to be probably putting together this plan, this whole campaign of like doing things around it, showing it to new people, spreading the word, building hype, trying to get to a target that we know will then make sure the rest of the launch is a success, and we can then turn it into this trilogy we're talking about. And this is something that I've wanted to do for so long. And it's like, as I say, I've done the writing part of it. It's just pushing it on forward from there. I've done the writing part for the first one. It's just building on the momentum from that. And it's massive. I'm very, very excited. On top of that, it's also coming up to April. Now, last April, I took part in Autism Acceptance Month, which on Bex's server, they do an annual like comics. They cobbled together sounds awful. Joined together the comics from year one into a book, which became Sensory Life on the Spectrum, which is an amazing book that is available in shops now and on Amazon and all of that stuff. And I've raved about it plenty of times. It was the book I read on the way back from Comic-Con that like absolutely made me feel like I'd found people like me when I read it as an autistic adult. I read it and I was just like, everyone in this book, I get it. And it really, really blew me away. So last year we did the same sort of thing. We all did comics together. We all did some poems, written stories, little drawings, and a game jam. So there was lots of stuff that we did. People made music, people made their own, like whatever their arts and crafts were, they added it into the whole festival that we'd done. And it was epic. It was brilliant. And this year, we're still doing that amongst the comic and the best thing from stuff. And I don't know who I'm working with yet on that kind of thing. I'm hoping people will want to work with me on a writing perspective. You know, if anyone wants me to, they can sort of say to me, yep, I'll cobble you in. I don't want to impose myself on anybody. I'm a bit coy like that. But yeah, we'll be doing that. We'll be hopefully putting that into another sort of sensory style book if it's all good and we can get it together and so forth. I'll take part in whatever other things. There was like a 44-word poem I did last year. There was other bits and pieces I did. Going to be taking part in any of those things that pop up. I want to try and do some drawing. I've got a book here. Claire bought me a book called Great Ideas and Cunning Plans, and I've been writing great ideas and cunning plans in it. Although at the moment it's loads of Pokemon themed pictures. Like there's all these. I need to learn how to draw about 12 different Pokemon because I have these themed ideas in my head. And I've also got another page where I'm basically turning the lyrics of songs into stories, where it's either just the lyrics of the stories or it's just me turning the song into a story that I think would make a good comic. And I just need to learn how to draw people and Pokemon at this point. If I can come up with my own Sheepdog art style that's people and Pokemon style, but they look right, then I'll crack on with that. I just need to practice, but I feel like that's probably on the back burner. So the game jam is the other big thing that's probably going to take a lot of time to run through, although I'm not the programmer or the artist. So again, I'll be writing with people and I'll just be able to kind of nudge that into place. I feel like I'm quite a quick writer. Most of my job, is writing stuff at work. Writing the comic stuff was my task, and then Bex wrote it too, but she keeps calling herself the editor. I'm insisting what she was doing was definitely writing at a lot of points in the story, but she insists she was editing some of my notes, and we were having a funny back and forth over. She put written by me, and then I put and her, and then she put edited by her, and then I was like, but you wrote it, and we're just like, yeah, we're just back and forth. I feel like it's been an even split, and I am helping her with some of the art side of it. So not that I'm just going to expect her to put drawn by, but what I mean is like, we could just put created by both of us, and that would be enough. But yeah, we've been having a funny game of tennis where we keep changing the words and stuff like that, which has been funny. So yeah, Game Jam's going to be exciting. I don't actually know what the game's going to be this time. Last year we tried to do like a charity bundle, which we raised a little bit of money for an autism charity, which was good. I don't know whether we're going to continue down the graphic, what's it called, text-based novel game path, or we've literally not talked about it. I've also been talking to that gang about making a game that's separate from that I've had in my head for a long time. There was a bit of hype for that. I'm excited about the idea of doing it. It would be like a Metroidvania-y type game, and I just have it in my head that it would work really well. People are up for drawing the art for it. I've got the story in my head. I just need programmers to code it. And yeah, I'm just like, in my head, I'm thinking if all these projects can progressively do good things and be successful, then I could get to the point where I have enough sort of comeback from that it helps me then build these other things in, and just momentum. On top of that, we're also having our kitchen sorted because of our flood at Christmas, where our dishwasher leaked and ruined the kitchen. We have Ren building our new kitchen at, I think it's the 3rd week of March. And so our kitchen is going to be out of commission for the end of March, start of April. Originally that was like, oh, it's fine, we can just like eat and drink alongside that. As long as the fridge is kind of on, it can probably have drinks in it. I don't know, I doubt we'd have access to pipes to get a cup of water or whatever, but we can figure that out. I could just buy bottles of water and make tea from that maybe. But then we've got the utility room being refloored, which means that we have to lose the washing machine, which means that we have to take our clothes to be washed elsewhere, and we're gonna have to go to my in-laws to eat or whatever. It might be a good week for me to start visiting the office a little bit, to just build a bit of confidence doing that, and just seeing everyone and just dipping my head in and just saying hello a couple of times, just so that I can turn up and drink their coffee and use their stuff without men banging on the walls behind here. But I'll see how it goes. I'll give it a couple of days first, but that's obviously going to be quite hectic. People talk about that being a really stressful time for people. I don't think it'll interfere with much of my stuff. They're not going to be here when I'm vlogging or streaming or podcasting or all that stuff, but they'll be here just during the day when I'm trying to do my main job, which is one of those things I need to add in, by the way, that I'm going to be doing my day job through all of these projects and streams and vlogs and podcasts as usual. I'm hoping, as part of the hype for some of this, I said to both Kev and Shnum that I think maybe trying to appear on podcasts would be cool, or, take part in other people's stuff if they would have us to talk about them, because I feel like that would just be a good way to start working a bit of a circuit and bigging stuff up and helping people with content. So If anyone knows anyone, hit me up, let me know, recommend them. And yeah, I'm just thinking what a great, exciting time it will be. I'm very, very hyped. It should be cool. And that is also on top of just being a general dad and navigating the fact that I'm a bit of a messy person sometimes. And, I'm just like, this should all, hopefully, I think I'm just putting myself, I'm sort of stress testing myself. I feel like I'm also doing a business studies course online, which I'm like a third of the way through, that I need to sit down and knuckle down on. I think I've done modules 1 and 2, and I just need to crack on and do it. I'm still ahead of schedule. The deadline for module 2 was like 3rd of March, and I've already finished it. But doing that alongside it is, I mean, this is what happens when you put ADHD meds in me. This is what happens when I go on amphetamines. I just go nuts. I think most of this stuff was proposed to me. I mean, the comic we've been working on for a bit longer, but Best Thing From Kev kind of threw out there a couple of weeks back, and it's just gone. A lot of the other stuff has just built up from there. It's Focus Sheepdog. That's what we've been calling it on the server. Focus Sheepdog is Busy Sheepdog, and hopefully I can maintain it because I'm excited. I feel good at the moment. I am resting though. I say resting. I went to bed at like 4 a.m. last night because the tablets keep me awake. But I also got up at like 1 today, so that's why this is coming out in the afternoon, because I basically had breakfast and come on here to record this. Let me know how you're all doing. I'm going to wrap up here because I don't want this to go too long. Make sure you go and watch Best Thing From Swansea tonight at 5. I'm going to put this out straight away, so this will be out like before 4. Best Thing From Swansea comes out at 5. Most of you already know this. I'm not doing this expecting you to be all like, oh, I didn't even hear about this, but Lelujo 2, it's on there. If you type in Best Thing From Swansea on YouTube, you'll find it. It's great. It's going to be the best video we've ever done for Best Thing From stuff. Probably most stuff. It's super high quality, really well edited. Kev had a drone, all sorts of fancy stuff in there. I'm really impressed with how far he's come as like a video creator, and his editor's really good. The two of them just talking through this from a really high tech point of view, I was like, wow, I have lots to learn here, and I love learning stuff. So yeah, this has been really cool. So yeah, gonna wrap up. Let me know in the comments how you're all getting on. Let me know how your week's gone. I'll be back on Tuesday probably for a vlog. I mean, I intend to at the moment. Whether Tuesday goes to plan, who knows? But I should be back with another vlog in the week. I'll catch you all soon. Cheers.